All right, take two. This time I'm going to be nice up front and save the harsh stuff for the end. How's this for a title? Which trials and comics extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof? Cyberfrog on Netflix? No, the title is not clickbait. I'll explain that in a minute. I saw a few minutes of EVS's stream, but I had to go out dog walking. I have a very active little pupper. So I caught like 10 minutes in the beginning, and I think I was pretty sure I caught the gist of it. So as I walked, I kind of formulated a response. I go out walking for 90 minutes, come back, and I find out that they're still going at it. Mainly because the dude's assertion was so bizarre. The guy on the bottom, his name is Drew Manchu. And with the slowest level of scrutiny would fall apart. His name, Drew Manchu, he's just, a fat, affable guy in a ball cap, so he's probably bald underneath that hat, which describes half the people in Comicsgate. What did he say that got everybody so pissed off, myself included? I was, even now thinking about it, I'm getting pissed off. I was fuming when I heard this guy. Okay, I'm gonna stay away from ad hominems this time. He was asking Clint Stoker, who's like one of the nicest guys associated with Comicsgate, and to have this, all right, I'll get into that at the end. Why he was selling his comics through and associating with Comicsgate. The premise of his argument was that when extreme left-wing people make unfounded accusations, people should form lynch mobs and behave accordingly. He seemed to think due process was silly, so bring on the witch hunts, I guess. That on the top, Ethan Van Sciver. He watches the chat like a hawk. I guarantee he's seen like 90% of the comments. He does not miss a comment. The dude is all over his comment section. It's bizarre. I don't know how he concentrates, but he manages. It's really interesting. So he's some sort of NPC who thinks that unfounded gossip is as valid as gospel truth. A group of socialists in mainstream comics hate the guys in Comicsgate for daring to create their own business model after they told them that they weren't allowed in their business or their club. So they created their own business model because they were blacklisted by the mainstream because of their political or religious beliefs. And don't for a minute think this is just Trump derangement syndrome. A lot of this stuff is Christian phobia. So Mike Miller even called his channel Blacklist Universe before he changed it to Art of the Hero with Mike Miller, which is not a good idea to change your channel name in the first place. Talk to Diversity in Comics about that. But to change your channel name, his comic is called Lone Star. I think he's got 3 comics out that are Lone Star variants. And Blacklist Universe was a great name, easy to remember. It stuck in people's minds, and it was salient and probative and relevant. It brought up the concept that he was being blacklisted for his beliefs. To change it to something long and complicated that nobody remembers I hope he's not listening to this. So this ad hominem, I'm not going to say that, thought that Comicsgate was an istophobic hate group and we shouldn't associate with it. But then when someone said, hey dude, where's the evidence? The person of soy kind of introduces his soy hearsay rule. Think of it as similar to an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, i.e. not subject to a rigorous cross-examination. Maybe it's a soy hearsay Federal Rule 403. So, hey, who told you that we are an istophobic? That simple question seemed to destroy his argument, as it destroys so many. Okay, in that image, he kind of looks like Mark Waid. He's got that weird smile. Anyway, it's generally no. By whom? The far left comic pros who have Trump derangement syndrome, and they really seem to hate Christians. Anytime you do research, you first look for a self-bias that may affect your research, and you admit it at the outset. If you're going to do an opinion poll about abortion, it's important to state your position up front so everybody knows where your biases lie, which is funny because SJW media now is all left media, and they stopped admitting their biases up front. 99% of the media is voting for people with D's after their name. So when they publish a piece, they should say, hey, my bias is up front. I am a reporter. I try to be unbiased, fair, and impartial as possible. I am a Democrat. I have a history of voting Democrat. So Let's just be fair about it. They don't do that because who controls the media? Well, that's another topic. Anyway, so I just checked. They did this 7-hour live stream, which I guess they kind of EFAPed it because they were probably so pissed off. And I only listened to a little bit of it. I think you should limit streams to 3 hours and just cut them off because what it forces a higher energy into a tighter format. And people, I think you get a better product when people know they're on this stream and they know they've got to say their piece because they've only got 3 hours and other guests are coming on. You got to, I mean, I realize I should be doing my own live streams, and I will get that going. And I'm not going to block anyone. Nasser, Comicsgate Hut. Blocking is soy. Anyway, so Drew Manchu comes in at about the 20-minute mark, and he's not on for long. He's on for like 20 minutes before he cuts and runs. And within the first minute, he makes an absurd statement. I don't know if it's reduction ad absurdum or he's extrapolating the part to the whole. Basically, he's saying, it's a logical fallacy, right? And he's saying that you can't be a part of any group without being guilty jointly and severally for the actions of others. That's a nonsensical argument. Please bring up Islam. But nobody did. EVS, I guess, was just too nice to bring up Islam. People brought it up in the chat, though, quite extensively, and I know he saw it, but he decided to just all right, I won't say it. So, the thing is, you're not responsible for the actions of other people unless you tacitly or implicitly endorse those actions. That doesn't make sense scientifically or legally, unless you can look at the dogma of the group ideology and find negative things within the actual dogma, like in Islam and communism. There is nothing evil within the dogma of Comicsgate itself. Comicsgate is just SJW-free comics that respects the customer. That's it. Though if you have a different definition, I'd like to hear it in the comments. He's saying that because a group is accused of being meanies for daring to laugh at stupid mainstream comics because we have opinions and aren't simply being mindless consumers, we are canceled. That's just mob rule, and the collective IQ of a mob is very effing low. A mob rules by emotion, not reason. I know a lot of you hate EVS, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people hate me too. For some reason, I don't understand. I think if you met me in person, you'd honestly love me. I would sit down and we would have, buy you a cup of coffee or a beer, or a lunch, and by the end of it, you would be convinced I am just sweetness and light. But when you see somebody like Drew Manchu arguing for groupthink, you start to realize who the real enemy is. And now that I think about it, I wish EVS stuck to the principles of free expression. When it came time for him to publicly humiliate and degrade Nurkish, he canceled Nurkish because of some edgy boy humor in a Discord, which doesn't seem like a big deal to me. But EVS is trying to move Cyberfrog into Netflix animation or films. He's thinking of the big picture of hundreds of millions of dollars, so I get where he's coming from. But I would have talked to Nurkish privately and said, hey, kill your Discord or we have to eventually part ways. Maybe even lay your cards on the table. Hey, Nurk, if you and Cecil go into comics, it could be a 6-figure business because Cecil's comic is going to probably make 120 before the end of the day. Before the end of the campaign. So, hey, Nurkish, kill your Discord and I'll push Cash Grab and we can all make a lot of cash. Is it worth it to have a Discord with kids making World War II jokes? I realize that this is going to piss off the free expression absolutists, but the way around this is just take the membership of the Discord to someone else's Discord. They're free and you can set them up in a minute. Problem solved. You can make fun of World War II stuff all you want, which is fine. I had family die in those events, and I still think it's fine. My grandfather died in the camps. He fell out of a guard tower. And there go 10 subs. No, the title about the Netflix thing isn't clickbait. Where do you think Cyberfrog and Jawbreakers is going in the future? Do you think the goal is just graphic novels for the 20 to 50-year-old male demographic? Don't get me wrong, it is $1 million business, or it soon will be. But EVS and Meyer are thinking of the future, and they're thinking of the tens and the hundreds of millions of dollars. The future is Amazon Prime, Netflix, or even a film. They want animation and a toy line. They're looking at serious money, not merely graphic novels. And that's not going to happen unless Comicsgate clears up its somewhat negative association. And I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, there's some mud with every group of people, every new industry, and I don't think it's enough to keep investors away. So that's why EVS is acting like an octopus with his tentacles outstretched, trying to control everything, which is tough because Comicsgate is like herding cats. So it's going to be difficult to get a Netflix deal when you have a Discord that jokes about the ancestors of the people who control Netflix and Amazon. I'm joking a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. Companies usually try to avoid controversy. EVS knows how harmful defamation is, which is funny because he constantly defames Edwin and Mike. And I mean that literally in the legal term of defamation. That's another video, and I kind of pushed out on making it. Do I get into it here? I'm at minute 10. Most people aren't going to get into it. Do I? Shit. I don't know. I'll save it for now. I'll save it for live stream. And I guess Doug, he defames Edwin, Mike, and Doug, but Doug is just so smug, so it's kind of hard to defend. Smugless, wash your hands, Doug. Anyway, I was dog walking last night, and I was trying to determine if EVS was an actual crazy person or just super type A with a lot of gamma sniping and undercutting. Should I say that or edit it out? He probably isn't listening, so I think I'm safe. The thing with type A assertive focused people is that some are leaders, natural born, and some aren't. The smart ones look to build a coalition of people who will help them reach their goals. They are honest. They say, hey, I've got a good idea. It's going to make a ton of money. And if you come along for the ride, you can also make a lot of money. That's why I definitely don't hate EVS, even though I do think he might be more on the side of crazy rather than just type A. He will be making millions, but he's also willing to help other creators also make a ton of money. He has been fighting with Mike and others, and when I stupidly ask, why don't you guys kiss and make up and have a profitable business relationship? Oh, Bianca, you just don't understand. So then I ask, who was killed? Who invaded whose village? Where are the bodies? Bianca, don't be absurd. It's an internet fight. It's about words on Twitter. So nobody snuggled somebody's daughter. Bianca, you just don't understand. I guess I ain't the sharpest bulb in the toolbox because I thought you guys had a business relationship, not a lover's spat. In business relationships, you may have vehement disagreements and still continue to do business unless you want to live in an echo chamber. And I thought only SJWs needed echo chambers. Were Mike and EVS lovers? They both kind of look pregnant, so maybe they were lovers. I wish them luck delivering those 9-pound butt babies. You know, I don't agree with a lot of people on social media. It doesn't mean that I can't still listen and open myself to a diversity of opinions. I am subbed to all the Comicsgate and Comicsgate associated channels. I dip in and say hello because I'm an adult. Well, I can't say hello to Nasser in the hut because Nasser blocked me because he saw me talking to people he didn't like a year ago. I guess he saw me in the War Campaign chat a year ago, talking like an adult, and I'm blocked for that. Good job, Nasser. Hut blocked me because I was joking about everyone in one of his live streams. Nasser, I was joking about the Comic Book Hut, Cecil, EVS, but I guess Hut needed a safe space, but EVS and Cecil were okay with it. Anyway, follow me on Patreon, join the EVS tier at 1939. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to mention this at the beginning about the way someone colors your outlook on life, because a lot of these gamma people, the Antifa types, the anti-Comicsgate types, they're fat, they're out of shape, they're eating soda and chips, they look like garbage and they feel like garbage. If they stuck to beans, rice, and little vegetables, which by the way is the cheapest diet on earth, they'd drop 20 pounds in a couple months, look better, they feel better. The way you look, it colors everything. A lot of these angry soy people aren't happy simply because they look like lard buckets. They aren't getting laid because they aren't even getting people smiling at them, because they're fat and miserable and are putting out negative energy. And the thing is, when you go from being a little out of shape to being in shape, it's not like you say, oh, people are so shallow, they're not smiling at you before because the way you look. No, it's not exactly that. It's part of that, but it's more that you're not putting out positive vibes, because there are fatties who are putting out positive vibes and getting laid left and right. But this guy is not. People who look like this are probably not, because his whole energy is wrong. And the thing is, you drop a couple pounds and all of a sudden your energy that you're putting out is different, and so you're getting back a lot of positive energy. And if you're into dick or pussy, you're getting those too, and you need that, or at least you need people smiling at you. You can't underestimate the power of people being nice to you because you're being nice to them. And like, if you can't find something nice to say about, if you want to turn around from these guys and girls who are gammas, start eating right, eating beans, rice, vegetables. You want to stop being a gamma within like 6 months. If you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. Try to say something nice about somebody every day. And I don't mean you got to cut out things like rolling your eyes and snipping and sniping and smirking and snorfing and all that kind of stuff. Just cut all that out and just try smiling and looking for the good in people, the nice things about people. Try complimenting people, because a lot of these negative energy people, they attract other negative energy people. And I actually did a Twitter collection when they don't permanently suspend my account, where I take shots of their I download their images, their thumbnails, because I download these. I've got like 300 of these. But it would get me probably kicked off YouTube for harassment. I'll put it on BitChute, where these people are not smiling. They look like they all have the same straight, like crooked smile. Like, what do I have to smile about? In Trump's America, am I right? But you goddamn Nazis, best economy, 20 whatever. They all have the same look, and they're just like sallow and out of shape and just angry looking. And they attract other angry people. And listen, hot bitches don't want to sit on your face when you look like that. Okay, you should be writing down in a daily journal your food list, eating vegetables, and the goal of it is, I don't want to get too graphic, but I see I'm just going to get into, all right, I'm not going to get in. All right, I'll skip it. Anyway, it's like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can click the links. I know nobody made it to 16 minutes. Click the links. You can buy me a coffee. And to all those who have supported the channel, thank you. There's been like 3 or 4 people who have actually given me money for being a colossal asshole. I want to thank you for that. And just as important is people sending me art to look at, this stuff I can use for the channel. People giving me art, honestly, it chokes me up a little bit when I see it. So I really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I will see y'all next episode.